Hello, Sammy here, back again with another video. I'm joined by Royal Television Society Awards 2017 nominee and Chortle Awards 2016 Best Newcomer nominee, stand-up comedian, Kae Kurd. How are you?
What's up, bro? You alright? Yeah? Yes, big up, bro.
How are you? Right.
Me? I'm alright, man. I'm alright. I haven't had much sleep, but I'm good.
We were watching Motor Comedian and Big Nasty show last night.
Yeah, I was. It's really good to see how Mo's sort of like shining on that show as well.
Yeah.
And it's so funny as the episodes have got on, he's just becoming more and more himself on the show. Like when I watched it last night, it just felt like that's the Mo you get off stage normally when we're busting joke in a dressing room or in a tour van or whatever. So it's just really funny to watch it because you're seeing like one of your best mates essentially just doing really, really well. We're
in Streatham, so like where you grew up or near where you grew up. How was that like growing up near here? Like how has that affected your comedy and how you view?
Yeah, well, like so my parents moved to Brixton when we came to this country, so it was always such a melting pot of so many different cultures and backgrounds. There were so many cultures that I learned from just being around so many people. So, you know, one of your friends would be like Jamaican, one of them would be Nigerian, or would be English, white. You get a Polish guy. You get, do you know what I mean? So it was like you were able to experience so many different cultures and see little bits and pieces that I think when it came to me actually becoming a comedian, is I had so many different points of reference for people. So I can make jokes about certain things with a level of authenticity that certain people wouldn't. So there's a lot more, I get a lot more leeway in terms of certain things whereas people might go, oh my God, you can't say that when other people do. I think I've had a lot more luck in that department because I've been around so many people and they know it's not coming from a malicious standpoint.
And you came as a refugee, 6 months old.
You done your research, Sammy. Exactly. I like that. All you other YouTubers watching, do your research. Yeah.
Does that like affect your comedy, the way you do like political things, or was that always going to happen?
It's certainly. I mean, all of our experiences shape who we are, right? So, by virtue of coming to this country as a refugee at only 6 months old or whatever, and being well aware of why you had to leave and what led to you having to be there, it always meant that even from a very young age I was very politically engaged, and I was very interested in politics and current affairs and just learning how the world works and why it works in certain ways. So of course when it came to doing comedy, it meant that, you know, I would have a point to make in certain jokes, right? So when I'd see something, I'd try to explain it to a lot of my mates who probably weren't as politically engaged, didn't care. I was like, oh bro, that's boring, why'd you care about that? So it was fun for me to be able to try and use comedy as a vehicle for people to understand certain issues,
And you said like you came, like your parents moved to Brixton. So at school, how were you as a student? Or
as a student? I think I was quite nerdy. Not nerdy, but like I was always good in school, do you know what I mean? The one thing my teachers always used to say is he's quite chatty. He's quite chatty. So I'd always be, it didn't matter who they sat me next to, I'd end up being friends with them and start talking to them, that kind of thing, right? So, you know, as a punishment sometimes we're like, right, you're sitting next to so-and-so, and you're like, so, okay, I'll start busting a joke with him. But yeah, I was always quite talkative, and I always liked getting up at assemblies and being the guy that's hosting the assembly, and you know, like school trips and stuff come around. I was the guy. I wanted to like show people around the school, all of that sort of stuff. Anything that required public speaking or whatever, I was always involved in it. And I always used to get quite good grades and stuff. It wasn't until I sort of got into about sixth form college where I was a bit more confident in other departments as well, so I started becoming cool.
When you were at school, was like comedy and performing arts, was that always a standout thing, or was it more like
no?
That wasn't.
No. Do you know what? I remember one of my drama teachers, when I told them I wasn't doing it as a GCSE, they were like, well, what do you mean? You're excellent at drama. So It's because I mean, obviously, you would probably understand this. You have parental pressures in a lot of aspects. So they obviously your parents want what's best for you, right? And for them, what's best for you is what was the great occupations in their time, right? When they were growing up, or what they see, and they want something stable for you. However, we live in such a fast-paced world now. You know, you've got social media, you've got access to so much. I mean, for example, this recording equipment.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
10, 15 years ago, it would have been so hard to do something like this as well. So the mere fact that we've got so many resources available to us now freely means that we've got so much more occupations and stuff that we can get into, which I think that the older generation sort of don't even understand. Like, even trying to get their head around certain things, like if you were to tell your parents that there's people that make money just off of Instagram,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
like they wouldn't understand it. Like, they'd have to take a course on what is Instagram first, like how do you upload a photo, that kind of thing, for them to even understand that. So I think it's great that your parents are always going to want the best for you, but I think sometimes, especially in this world we live in, unfortunately they might be a bit mistaken as to what is the best use of your talents.
So you said like stand-up comedy as a whole wasn't like forefront at school and stuff like that. So when did it actually become like apparent?
So I tried to get into radio first after uni, right? I entered a KISS 100 competition. I got through to the final 25 to be a presenter there. I became an intern at Radio 101 Extra at one point. And funnily enough, after doing comedy, now I do cover slots on Asian Network. On BBC Asian Network, I do some shows. August 4th, check me out, and on the 25th. Got to learn how to plug. After university, like a lot of people were like, "Hey, listen, man, you're funny, man. Have you ever given stand?" Even when I would be at work, I'd be like just busting, joking. People like, "Man, you should give stand up. You should go." So I did it at an open, at Friends. I was just doing like little hosting bits like a couple times, and then I done a comedy night. Guy was like, do 5 minutes. I done about 2.5. Got a laugh, and then I went off stage. I was like, "Yeah, good night. My name's Kae Kurd. See you later." At the time, I was just Kae. Like, everyone was like Kae, but then so then gradually, like I just got the bug for it. I was like, "This is really cool, man. I really want to do this, man." So then I kept going until it got to a point where like I was getting paid, and like not much at first. Like, you get like, even when you get like £20 or £50 at first, you're like, "Oh my." From telling jokes. Oh yeah, man. So you get really gassed up and stuff. So it sort of motivated me, because I was just thinking, this is easy money. Like, I don't need to work in an office. I don't need to do anything. So yeah, it really helped. Yeah.
When you like started actually pursuing it like as a job, what was probably the best advice that you received then, or did you get any advice?
Be yourself. Be yourself. I think. Even when you look at certain people, like you mentioned Big Nasty, even the reason why Big Nasty's successful is he is himself unapologetically. Like, it's I think especially in this day and age, people very much relate to authenticity a lot more now. I think audiences have always been able to smell when people are faking it. But I think even now, because of like social media, you've got to be like updating your Snap story, your Insta story, all of this all the time. So you can't really fake your personality, can you? And if you do, you're going to have a lot of mental health issues after a while, so you're not going to be able to go on it. So I think be yourself, and try to just always talk about the unique aspects of yourself. Probably the best piece of advice I ever got.
What was the reaction for you pursuing comedy from like friends or family?
Friends were great. Family were like, it's a phase. This is the longest phase I've been going through. So yeah, I think once your parents sort of see you getting on TV and stuff. I was in the Evening Standard, for example. My mum, it was probably one of the first times my mum and dad looked at me like, oh,
yeah,
do you know what I mean? And it was just like, okay, like maybe this can go somewhere. Do you know what I mean? It's like, But I mean, this has to work now. Like, I'm way too old to go into another
Yeah.
job now, so this is it.
But you've supported like acts as well. Like
Yeah.
you did Dane Baptiste.
Yep.
Obviously Moda Comedian.
Yep.
You've done tour. You done tour with. You went to Edinburgh.
Yeah, I've done my own show in Edinburgh, Curd Your Enthusiasm.
What did that teach you?
Doing
supporting?
tour support, it's a very different skill to doing a set in a comedy club. So typically in a comedy club, people are already up for it. They know they're going to see about 3, maybe 4 comedians in one night, and they know what they're expecting, right? But they haven't come out to see anybody in particular.
Yeah.
When you're doing tour support, it's like they've come out to see that person. They have not come out to see you, bro. It is not your time to shine. So it taught me a couple of different things. One, humility, and it makes you a better comedian because you're trying to win over people that already have their backup.
Yeah.
Particularly on Mo's tour, though, I think it was a lot easier because he makes it very easy for me to go on. I mean, he comes on himself first and goes, "This is one of my best mates. Like, please make him not sure." So when I go on, it's pretty much easy for me. Easy in relation to a lot of other things, but thankfully he goes on, does his thing, and then I come on and do about 15 minutes, and then with Mo's tour, it taught me just how to put on a tour, essentially, how to make people feel valued, how to give the audience a great show, and just really, how to be a better comedian as well. Like, I mean, you're sometimes gigging 5-6 nights away from home.
Yeah, okay.
Just trying to, even like just the little things about trying to stay healthy and not losing your voice and that kind of stuff. Like, it's, people don't really think about that side of things, but it's important. It's important. It's important, young Sammy.
What was your reaction to like the praise that you got from your own show, Curd Your Enthusiasm?
Do you know what it was? Because I've been doing so much tour support, I forgot I could sell tickets. So I sold out all 4 nights. So I was like, yes, money maker. No, I'm joking. I didn't get paid that much. So yeah, it just gave me a new lease of life. I think in a way where I was like, wow, like there are people that actually invested in me as a comedian and a personality, or whatever you want to call it these days. So it really made me want to go, do you know what, like, I need to give people more of this. So more inspiring than anything else.
You talked about praise that you got. How do you what is your reaction to criticism that you get?
Criticism?
Yeah.
Do you know what? There's a great quote where it says, "You're never as great as they say you are, and you're never as bad as they say you are." So, in the entertainment industry, especially, you're going to get a lot of highs and lows. Yeah. Particularly in the world we live in now, things are very polarized all the time, right? So people are either like, "Oh, he's amazing," or "He's shit." Do you know what I mean? It's never like, "Oh, it's something in the middle." Do you know what I mean? It's it's like you see it on social media all the time. Do you know what I mean? Like, and people are either right wing or left wing. Like, there's no center ground anymore. So, you're going to get people that are going to go, "You're the best comedian in the world I've ever seen," and you know in yourself, it's like, that's a lie. Do you know what I mean? And then you're going to get people saying you're crap, right? And a lot of the time, I think you've got to look at who the criticism's coming from, right? So there's a lot of constructive criticism that you can get from certain people that probably knowledgeable about it. Listen, if Dave Chappelle was criticizing me, listen, I'm listening all day long in it. But if it's just Derek with 4 followers who's somehow bored and stumbled upon my profile, then no, I'm not listening. And I think what a lot of people tend to do is they give a lot of credence to those kinds of followers, like the people that would tweet negative stuff. But a lot of the time, people like that are doing it just because they know it's going to incite a reaction. So I think it's important to just show everybody that shows love, attention, and then you're going to get more of that, because if you focus on a negative, you're going to be very unhappy.
What's your worst and best experiences in stand-up comedy?
Best experiences, I mean, there's a few, I think. Doing my own one-man show, supporting Mo and Dane. I think one of the first times performing at Hackney Empire was a fun one. and I think one of the worst. This is funny, right? First night I went over to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, right? Last year, this was 2017. Lots of money has gone into this, lots of effort, lots of time, hours of rehearsals. I'm feeling the pressure.
Yeah.
So I get on stage and I've forgotten all my material.
So you just...
I've forgotten all my jokes, right? Luckily, it was still, that day of the Fringe, it was still like, people were still doing previews, so it was still billed as a preview day, so you can have your notes and stuff with you. So my manager ran into the dressing room and got my notes, and then I was like, oh, those are my jokes. But I literally, at that point in time, like, as soon as the lights got on, I was like, forgotten every single, I've forgotten how to be funny. There was that much pressure on me. But looking back on it now, it's funny. But at the time, I was like, oh my God, there's people looking at me going, like, people have paid to see you. And you're just there, like, forgetting everything. So yeah, that was probably the worst experience. But hey, it gives me something to talk about with you.
Exactly.
And something to write about in the autobiography years to come.
How did you get back from that? Like, just freezing?
I went and ate like a whole 6-pack of donuts.
I mean, yeah, fair.
I had to hype myself up. Lots more rehearsals, and sort of try to learn how to chill out. I think over the past year as well, I've learned to live in the moment a lot more. So yeah, that's helped. Yeah.
Because you've obviously grown like like massively.
That's how time works.
Yeah, exactly. What would your advice be to people pursuing comedy? Because you've been where they've been. Like.
I think only really do it if you love it. If you're looking for a way to get famous quickly, this isn't it. Yeah. There's a lot more easier ways to get famous quickly. If you like, you got to figure out what it is you want to do. Do you want to be funny on stage, or do you want to be funny on Instagram or whatever? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, being funny for like 15 seconds on an Instagram video or a minute or on YouTube are very different skills to being funny on stage. There's no editing, there's no rewind button. Do you know what I mean, when you're on stage? So try it out, and only do it if you really love the idea, that instant feedback and reaction that you get from people. And as well, if you are going to pursue it as a career, make sure that you take it seriously. You've got to show it respect, because this game is undefeated. Yeah. Nobody's ever like, yo, I beat stand-up. Stand-up will beat you. Like, there always comes a time where funny runs out. Yeah, exactly. Your funny runs out. You might become. I mean, it's hard to be funny once you live in a private. You're in a private yacht, and do you know what I mean, like in a mansion or whatever. So, show the game respect. Preparation is always very key as well. But yeah, I think most of all, enjoy it. Enjoy it. Enjoy your time, because if you expect a lot from this in a very short space of time, it's not going to happen. Kevin Hart, what you're seeing there is 18, 19 years of hard work. So comedy is very different to. I think a lot of people look at music often as a reference point and go, oh, that's what I want to do. Like, I'll just do it like that. And it's like, music is very much a young person's game, right? Like, you see a lot of your favourite artists probably started when they were 18, 19 or whatever, and you know, like, by the time they get to 30, people are like, oh well, they're old now, and it's like, they're not old, like, do you know what I mean? But in comedy, I think the latter is the case. The older you get, the better you get at it, because you've got more things to talk about, more life experiences, you've got more points of reference. You know what everybody in that crowd's been through. So say, for example, you get married and you have kids, you can relate to a lot more people in that audience than you could if you're just a single bloke on stage, right? So yeah, I think that's very important as well.
And finally, what are your aims in comedy, just going up?
I want it all, man. I want to do everything. I think I've always wanted to. I used to look at Eddie Murphy, right? And I used to see what he'd do, and like, he was on Saturday Night Live. He'd done sketch comedy, and then he'd done he sold out stand-up tours in arenas, and he had Hollywood films.
Yeah.
And I think that's always been very much of a goal of mine. But I think I really want to have my own sitcom, and I want that to be incredibly successful. I want to be in a few films and stuff as well. So hopefully in the future. I think I want to get into some serious acting as well, not just comedy acting. So yeah, we'll see what happens, man.
Thank you for answering my questions.
No, thank you for having me, man.
Just to wrap up, could we do some like would you rather's questions?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Alright, so would you rather have no internet or no phone?
Would I rather have no internet or no phone? Well, if I had, I'd rather have no phone, because even if I had my phone and if I didn't have internet, it'd be pointless.
Yeah, but you can still contact people and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I can still do that with the internet.
Oh yeah, over like other social media. Would you rather go back in time and meet your ancestors, so pre-1800s, or meet your great-grandchildren way in the future?
I'm not gonna lie, man. I want to meet my grandkids. I made them.
Would you rather be able to speak to animals or speak every foreign language?
Fuck that animal. Sorry. Sorry. Don't swear. Yeah, no, man. I'd rather speak every single language in the world. I think it's beautiful to like just being able to communicate with
I'd say
everybody.
foreign language,
Do you know what I mean? It's like so much more. I can do comedy in every country.
Exactly. Would you rather have World War III or a zombie apocalypse?
Wow. What kind of dark question is this? Like, would I rather have World War III or a zombie apocalypse? Who is World War III between? Which side am I taking?
So this like Western civilization gets like, I don't know, Russia.
Do you know what? I'd probably say World War III, and I'll say why, right? Because the zombies will not discriminate against anybody. Right?
Oh yeah, true.
At least with World War III, you're either in the army or not. I'm not joining. I'm too old to join the army. My knees are messed up. They're gonna come for you before they come for me, Sammy. You're gonna have to go join the army before I will.
No, I'm not. No, I'd rather have a zombie apocalypse.
I'm just saying for my own safety, they're gonna take young people like you into the army before they're gonna take me. So, I'm saying that World War III. I don't know why you want a zombie apocalypse.
Just for the bands.
Bands? There is no bands, bro. Do you know how to fight? No. So it's gonna be. You see a zombie there, you're done for, bro.
No. Would you rather have no internet again, or never be able to fly again? So go on an aeroplane, basically.
Man, the internet is so good, man.
Yeah.
Because even with the internet, I can book ferries and
you just take a boat, exactly. Yeah, I'll go for that. Anyway, thank you for answering my questions.
Thanks for having me, bro. Big up.
All of Kae's links will be in the description below. Remember to check them all out.
Done, no?
Exactly. Thank you for listening. Remember to subscribe, like the video, share the video, all of that. Thank you for listening. I'll see ya.